Hello, everybody, and welcome to Graded Point Live. None of you won. You are all wrong. Ha! Take it and enjoy it. And welcome. Take it and enjoy it. And then, of course, I boomer it immediately. Now I just realized, okay, let's stop it. I was getting feedback from the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Mike is here. Is like, how did I? What did I walk in on? What's going on here? He's like, I got here 10 minutes ago, and we're having a conversation, and we go live, and things went absolutely insane.
Sideways.
I missed you guys.
Well, we're glad to have you back, brother. Is that new?
No, I just don't get many chances to use it.
Okay, and just for references tonight, to let the chat know, tonight Evil Bob will be Bob because I don't want to get confused because that means there would be two mics here. So, so and I'll probably mess up. I'll be saying Mike and it'll be like, and then Murphy will be talking. I'm like, oh, I didn't mean.
Graded Point Live is filmed for a live studio audience.
I mean, it pretty much is. Pretty much is.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, Mr. Mike Murphy, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad that you could make it on. Even though you kind of went on another show before you went on this one. It's all right, it's okay.
I just want to point out that the scroll says that this episode contains.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I was so confident that I had everything ready that I forgot to change that. I'll fix that. Tonight's episode, what does that say? Contains.
Warning: tonight's episode
shooting.
contains foot shooting.
All right, well, why not? Here, make a very quick edit.
We had a little bit higher production than we had last time you were here.
Okay.
Yeah, unlike the boomer the boomer creators, we know how to use OBS.
I call it Ethan's birthday.
That's a bit of a stretch, but
it was his birthday stream, and he had this crazy shit where he had the words dancing around his icon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, somebody made that for him.
Yeah, we know Ethan doesn't have that kind of skills. Okay, Piper, how's that? Is that better?
I'll have to wait, I guess, until
It scrolls by again.
There we go. All right, that's cute.
It's still got a warning, but now it's warning that Mike Murphy's here.
Doctors warn against using Mike Murphy if you are expecting or operating heavy machinery.
So yeah,
You've had an erection for longer than 4 hours after consuming me. Please consult your physician.
oh God, trying to wait to see if some more people will filter in because usually you get around 15 to 20. So
Sure.
just give it a few minutes. Like I said, this is usually where we just randomly talk about weird things, like people betting on how late we're gonna be.
Yeah, they're all going to go in like 10 minutes going, shit, you guys started?
Right?
Hey, Mike Murphy, the second nicest guy in comics, second only to Peter Samedi, according to Midnight Images.
Oh.
That's a high compliment, actually.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Oh man,
Peter...
I get to use this twice.
Oh damn!
In one episode. Oh man.
Somebody's going to sleep good tonight.
Your guest beat me to the erection joke.
That's why he's here, Seth, and you're in the chat.
Aw.
God, get wrecked. Get freaking wrecked. Stay in there. Stay in the chat. Yeah, Raptro posting weird things in the chat, in our side chat over here.
Sure.
Yeah, basically telling you how to hide an erection in public. Guys, please. Mr. Murphy is a married man. Okay, come on. I mean, I'm sure it's still possible, but the thrill is gone.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You're never too young to have a Vietnam flashback.
At least 18.
Well, that's when everybody became a man, apparently. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Rapture says, Seth, don't beat your erection in the Damn it.
Oh, dear.
You people.
Solid life advice, just like how to fight an ostrich. I'm disturbed, but also intrigued.
Well, somebody needs to teach that to the Australians because, those emus that they have to deal with.
Emus are much more dangerous.
Oh, I know they are. They got claws and shit. They'll mess you
Emus are funny as hell, though.
They were a huge pain in the ass during the Australian-American War, though.
Australian-American War.
What?
Is that one of those secret wars from the Hellboy universe that we didn't know about?
It's from one of my favorite old running jokes from old Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, shit.
They'd always have veterans from the Australian-American War.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, I saw a fucking kangaroo hop into a bunker and explode, take out 10 guys. I still got a piece of boomerang shrapnel stuck in my leg.
Boomerang shrapnel. More like boomer shrapnel. Got him.
Oh.
Yeah. Nothing but boomers here. Even the youngest one is a boomer.
I'm a total boomer. Like I'll never get OBS down, man. That shit's like a magic trick to me.
I'm not gonna lie. I had specialized training.
Okay.
Yeah, friend of mine
I'm a boomer that.
Yeah, a friend of mine basically boot camped me for a few days to teach me how to do it.
He tried to do that to me, and I said, "Can't I just bring it over to you and have you do it?" He was not amused.
Sorry, I went and looked in our stream chat and Raptro actually is having diagrams of how to fight ostriches. Basically, take them out at the neck and then hit them in the knees.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the killing blow?
Yeah. You would think, when their head's kind of tiny, you think you'd just crack them there and go in good time and you're done.
Yeah, just get a tiny rock hammer.
Because they fight lions.
They do fight lions, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that last image of the person, their hands on their head and the ostrich just saying pathetic to them.
Yes. I was told it was solid life advice. I mean, it's always good to know when you're in nature what to do in the case of an emergency. Yes, it's fine.
Yeah.
For bears, make yourself real big. Mountain lion, punch it in the face.
Well, if it's a grizzly, you make yourself real small and you cover the back of your fucking neck. With black bears, you make yourself as big as possible and you shake a can of nickels.
Why would you randomly have a can of nickels?
Don't you carry one?
Don't ever go camping without your can of nickels.
Yeah, that's there's you some solid life advice right there. Yeah.
With mountain lions, shoot first.
Mm-hmm.
And then ask
before
the
they
questions. You're right.
If you run into the wrestler Haku, kill yourself. Because it's all over at that point anyway.
Run into a Rhodian, always shoot first.
Never give him a chance.
He's just gonna take
And
you
if you
outside
come-
and shoot you.
And if you come across a chocobo, just go for a ride.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, all chocobos are tamed. That's just the way it is.
They are.
Just give it the leafy greens, and it'll come every time you whistle.
There you go.
Yep.
And if you get the black one, watch out.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be zooming across
Gold
the
one will
map.
bring you stuff.
Yeah. God, I remember my old Final Fantasy VII strategy guide. It was telling you how to get the best chocobo at the. Do this to get the black one, and do this to get the gold one. So, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. This in no way affects the gameplay at all, but I'm gonna do it.
I remember having to do the fucking chocobo quest line in Final Fantasy XI. It was such a huge pain in the ass. You gotta raise it from the egg. You gotta raise it to adulthood. Then it runs away. Then you've got to start the fucking quest line to get your chocobo license. And when you get it, it's supposed to come to you, if I remember right.
Well, no,
That was the MMO, right?
The chocobo is just like, oh fuck, you don't have a license, bye. And then you get a license, and the chocobo just like randomly comes back, like, oh, you got your license, congratulations.
I'm sorry, father/mother, but I can't trust you until you get your license. Even though you have raised me since I was a wee babe.
It sucks too because if you want to get to the other cities without any bullshit, you need a chocobo because when you're on a chocobo, you're immune from combat.
So if you want like basically just like a regular Final Fantasy, if you want a free ride without like bullshit, yeah.
All right.
I love WikiHow artists. Dude, I'm gonna hire a WikiHow artist. These are pretty good.
Nobody knows who does the art. It's the weirdest thing. But for every WikiHow article, there's an art.
Yeah.
That's
That's the weirdest fucking thing. Nobody knows. Like, you put an article up about how to fight chocobos, and then there'll be a fucking picture accompanied in that style of a white guy fighting a fucking chocobo.
Why is it a white guy?
It's always a white guy.
What, I wonder what the artist is trying to say here. Because I thought it was kind of weird that a white woman was fighting a ostrich. That was a little weird. But it's whatever.
Well, yeah, because obviously they're not from there, or they wouldn't get in fights with the ostrich in the first place.
Yeah.
How
Why would you be in a situation
to survive? Suggested article: How to survive a stroke in a mosh pit. Very specific.
if you suddenly smell toast,
Yeah. Woo.
get the hell out.
Actually, some toast would kick ass right about now. I'm gonna go do that.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about the show or anything.
Stop to anime betrayals.
So,
How to tell the difference between an ostrich and a pinata the hard way.
oh jeez.
And I bet you there's art accompanying it, isn't it?
Yep.
In that style.
Yep. Although it's got more shading.
Yeah.
Where the other ones have flats. Yeah, these got more shading. How to tell Craig if your hip hop dance class is a bear? What? I don't know how many hip hop classes there are out there anymore, but
Whew.
I don't know about you, but that's where I learned to pop and lock. No, I am not repeating that. I'm not repeating what Lunacy said in chat. But it's basically a message.
How about no?
It's a message for Piper, obviously.
I don't even like birds.
There are no more hip hop teachers. Are you saying I can't learn how to fight using hip hop keto from the original Black Ranger?
No. Was that really what? Wait a minute.
Yes, he was hip hop keto.
What?
Well,
Wait, you're talking about Zach, the original Black Ranger?
Yeah.
That was his official fighting style was hip hop keto.
Oh my god,
Oh, wow.
I never knew that until today.
suggested article: How to preserve a toad for oh shit, it's dead.
Well, of course, he put it in the
summer
freezer.
night dream.
Yeah, I put it in the freezer.
Yeah. So anyway,
Oh my god.
the Gods Fear Me, Book 1.
Right into it.
Yeah, nailed it.
Now see if they made a bet on how many fucking minutes it would take to for us to
Get
say
to the topic.
Yeah, they would have been better off.
Yeah.
They might have got him some fake money somehow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To that sweet internet cloud.
So you got the Gods Fear Me, Book 1. Androids and aliens battle across the wastelands of Earth for the fate of all mankind. 32 pages. I'm glad you put that right in the stinger.
Right up in there.
Throw that right in the stinger so everybody sees it.
Yeah, I learned that from Coach Malin. He was
Yeah.
like, "Where's the page count?" And I'm like, "All right, man, all right."
That's like his go-to, where's page count.
Right.
And it's so funny now that because he started using his cam more in streams. Just looking at now when he says it and I see his face, it's just like I want to call him Smug Malin because he always looks like he's very smug.
Yeah.
And you're currently funding at $16.99, which was a good year. I was there. But well, I was going to ask before we get down there. Would you say that you're as far as because you can look at your metrics and everything as far as funding goes for previous campaigns. Are you on pace to where you want to be? Are you ahead of schedule from your old one, or your original one? Excuse me.
I haven't really looked at the metrics, but I know just from studying this campaign and our last one, we're way ahead of where we were last time around. So I'm pretty happy so far.
Oh, good, yeah. Because you did a lot of hype build up beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, even when the second campaign for Samurai was starting to wind down, I was starting to drop hints here and there about.
Yeah, you were feeding about this. Yeah. So go ahead and give us the pitch for the Gods Fear Me. I hyped it for the guys on Friday because I told Bob. I remembered the basic idea for it, and he was like, "Ooh!" So
You got it, man. More than happy. Okay, so the Gods Fear Me is our big collaboration with Kristen Rossi. He's currently working on Voidwalker for Alterna, and previously drew Trespasser for them, which Trespasser is one of my favorite Alterna books, and honestly, it's one of my favorite books, period, from the past couple of years. I really enjoy that thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. I always promote that thing anytime I get the chance. So the story focuses on Kedzi, a one-armed android traveling across the wastelands of Earth in search of the alien god who took her arm in combat. Along the way, she meets up with a young boy named Brian, who might be the key to saving what's left of mankind. It's at this point that she has to decide between following her programming, which, is screaming at her, protect the boy, save mankind, and chasing her thirst for vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
And I kind of described
Thank
it
you.
like how did I describe it Friday? Oh, I described it like cyborgs versus elder gods.
Yeah, I mean, the elevator pitch is it's Prometheus with all the bad stuff taken out of it.
That's a tall order.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, so okay, and I've said this a few times, but the kind of starting point for this idea came from watching Prometheus, and of course I didn't like it. I mean, I thought visually it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on porn.
Yeah. But I'm watching it, and the whole time I'm going okay, David the
payoff
android is David the android is cool. Everyone likes Fassbender, and these the primordial giant face hugger things are awesome. Like, why isn't this whole movie just 2 hours of androids beating the piss out of those things?
Nice.
And you know, so like that kind of stuck with me, and then like one of my obsessions, like as I march towards 40, is I'm really obsessed with comic industry documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
And so a friend of mine picked me up like a cheap like thrift store copy of the old Ben Affleck Daredevil movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because on the supplemental discs there's a really solid Daredevil documentary filled with all the greats that have contributed to him.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And so they get to Frank Miller, and this is before all the weirdness with Frank.
Before Frank became
Um,
Frank. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they get to Frank, and he starts talking about the reason why he loves Daredevil is he's the only hero defined by what he can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
And that really stuck with me, and I started thinking about, you know, like I mean Zatoichi and you know, like the Crippled Avengers in, you know, like Kung Fu cinema. Um and you know, I started trying to apply that logic to like a superhero project, but none of it really stuck. And I don't know, when this whole idea for God's Fear Me came about, like I just kind of went, well, if I'm looking for a reason for her to be on a quest of vengeance, like what if this is where I can drop in that character that's defined by what they can't do?
Right.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at excuse me, looking at the scroll down a little bit and got some of the art, and I see some naughty bits are blanked out.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna assume that those
dude.
aren't. I'm assuming this is just for the campaign.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
In
So, hey, you can't see these Android naughty bits.
in in the script, like, you know, I was trying to be like very PG-13 because, you know, we want the biggest audience possible.
Yeah.
And I was describing the whole thing of like have it angled so that we get what's going on, but we don't quite see anything.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian was just like, F that, and he just sends me back this page of her like butt naked. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, man.
So he did
All
a
right.
he did a Canaan White to you essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
But
it was just like, here, I'm giving you this. It's like, well, that's not what I wanted, but it's really cool.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it did kind of free me up a little bit because I was like, all right, well, if we're committing to that, if we're committing to this basically being like rated R,
Mm-hmm.
we can just do whatever we want, action and story wise. So
Right.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's probably for the best in the end anyway, because maybe you get appeal to the widest audience, but now you could put everything into it to make it as good as it can be, and you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have to worry about would it have been better if I did more.
yeah, exactly. Like there, when I was working on the script about a week or so ago, there's a part where Kedzie turns to Brian, and I can't remember the exact setup for the line, but it's basically humanity is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that moment of like, all right, so what, like, how do I tone this down? And I just thought back to that panel. I'm like, oh, I don't have to. Okay.
I mean, you're not going to go full cross with it, but you know, ugh.
No. It's not going to be like a Ennis book.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, like when violence or nudity or the language needs to be in there, like I don't have to like tone it down.
Mhm. As it should be.
Yeah.
Some things are better that way. I apologize for bringing in an inferior work to this. It's the novelization of Alien versus Predator, the movie.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah. Well, that
Easy.
novelization is based off the R-rated version of the movie that nobody will ever get to see.
Sure.
and it wasn't a great book, but it was much better than the movie.
I can imagine.
I didn't have to strive that hard.
That was the one directed by the Resident Evil guy, right?
Paul W.S. Anderson? Did
Yeah.
he direct that one?
Which one was it now?
I think he did. The first Alien versus Predator.
I believe he did, yes. Because when they went to do the sequel, they asked him to come back, but he's like he does not do sequels. He claims.
Cut to like 8 Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, when
Unless they can feature his wife.
yeah, unless they can feature his
Exactly.
freaking wife. Yeah.
His wife
Right.
is his OC.
Yeah.
Right.
And also his Mary Sue.
Yeah.
When you get down to
A
it.
little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I'm like looking at the from your first 3 pages, and I'm at the last panel, and I really like it's the expression of the hand, if that makes sense, right?
I get you. Yeah.
The hand is like shocked that
spazzing.
it just got this,
Right.
the hand is shocked. It's like, wait, what just happened? Where's the rest of me?
Something's wrong.
I didn't pay for this.
That's that line from was it Dragon Ball Z Abridged? Why can't I feel my everything? So basically, humanity is like almost gone in this story.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll learn more about it, and I'll probably get into more of the specifics towards the end of the campaign. But the gist of it is, 200 years ago, our version of Cthulhu awoke, and in this we call him the Madness Engine.
Mm-hmm. But he didn't get killed by a steamboat.
No, he didn't get killed by a steamboat.
Sorry, I just
So-
we had a friend. Real quick, we had a friend one time. Bob will remember this. Like he went like super. Best word I can use is autistic about the fact that why do people make a big deal about Cthulhu? He got killed by a fucking steamboat. You remember that, Bob?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like literally, like we go on for hours about like how Cthulhu was sucked, and
To be fair, he didn't really die. He just said, "Fuck this shit. I'm going back to bed."
Yeah, he
Right,
got
right.
knocked out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's too early for this shit.
yeah, it's like I just woke up, tried to stretch out, and then I get hit by a fucking boat. I'm out. But go
There
ahead.
aren't
sir.
enough souls
see-
for this shit.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. So like honestly, like that's part of the reason why I wanted to kind of build up our own take on the Lovecraft mythology, because
Yeah.
like I love some of that stuff, but I mean a lot of times like you read it or you watch some of the adaptations, and every story essentially boils down to the main protagonist going insane.
Yeah.
And it's like that's cool, but I mean there are other people out there that can do that better than me. Like Jay Shiro with Case File Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Oh, it's so good. So I'm like okay, like what kind of new spin can we do on this whole thing? And I realized like if we just kind of took humanity out of the picture, androids don't have human minds, so they're essentially immune to everything that makes these creatures powerful.
Yeah.
So now we get to build up a class of aliens that have to defend themselves and have to have unique characteristics. And so, yeah, like basically just we built up our own unique pantheon that kind of is a love letter / homage to all of Lovecraft's work.
That's
But
awesome.
with at least 5 less adjectives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You could probably use
No.
a love letter. I hear what they're doing to him lately.
Let's
They're
see.
going back and cleaning him up. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man in Lunacy says,
I
let's
mean-
not forget that Cthulhu is the best case scenario when considering Eldritch horrors.
Oh, yes. Actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Azathoth, let us gaze upon the chaos that birthed the universe.
Right.
Let's see.
So so yeah, like 200 years ago that happens, and his awakening heralds the arrival of like a whole bunch more of them, and in the process of trying to defend ourselves, like 70% of the human population is wiped out. And the survivors come up with this last fail-safe effort, which is we're all going to put ourselves into cryogenic storage, and we're going to let these androids kind of roam the earth and kind of clean up, and whenever they're done with their job, then they'll wake us up.
So kind of like Wall-E, but without like fat humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, with 70%, I believe that's like you are. Yeah, I'm trying to remember because we have another friend who he's because we were not to get too sidetracked, but people say how they say global warming could lead to an extinction level event for humanity. Is like, do you know how much humanity would have to be like taken down to be an extinction level?
10,000 people.
Right.
Yeah, it would have to be down to 10,000 people to be extinction level, right? If you have a million,
well,
I was like, what did it say? If like a million survived, that you would actually have a thriving human race in another like 100 years again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's like but go ahead. Sorry.
And you took care of overpopulation for a while.
Yeah,
so,
there you go. Yeah.
There was an event where humanity was destroyed down to 10,000 individuals. 10,000. That is enough to not even fill a proper stadium these days.
Great bottleneck.
That cheetahs are still around. They're an extremely bottleneck species. But they're still around. They're still alive. I mean, there's one little fucking plague that'll fucking take them out, but they're still alive. They're still around.
I'm sorry, Mike. We keep interrupting you with stupid stories.
No, I was just going to add my own stupid factoid of like, wasn't that the thing after Infinity War that like all the anal retentives on the internet were like, if you have like snapped out like half of the population, it would just be replaced in like 20 years, and it's like shut up, like we know, but
it was the shock of the
that's
thing.
not the point.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's about the shock. It's like one minute you're talking to your wife, and the next minute she's dust.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Fair, it's a lot worse when you look at Endgame and realize that 5 years went by and nobody cleaned anything up. They just left it how it was.
Yeah, that was weird to me.
Yeah, I just rewatched it like a few weeks ago, and I had that exact same thought when they showed the stadium. I'm like, somebody clean that shit up.
I think that, and I mentioned this to in private because I didn't really, at the time I didn't want to do spoilers, but now I don't care. Why? My feeling is that they fucked up with the time skip.
Yeah,
Probably.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the second they lost was when the plan should have been put in the action. It shouldn't have taken 5 years to come up with the plan.
Right.
You still have some of the smartest people on Earth, involved in this.
Iron Man did it for his kid, but the problem is, even if he didn't do that time skip, she still would have been born.
Yeah.
Right.
He wouldn't have had that. He wouldn't be as close to her as he is because he was vicariously, feeling bad for ignoring Peter Parker, who only wanted to impress him.
I sometimes wonder if the time skip was just a way to like get Captain Marvel more inserted into the story somehow.
I think it was that, and the whole thing of like, because there are so many kid actors associated with that whole franchise. Like, I think it was just a way to age some of them out without it looking weird by the time the third movies come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you look at Ant-Man's daughter, you look at Hawkeye's daughter, just all the way down the line.
Yeah.
It was done so you get less Captain Marvel. So think about it. Captain Marvel saves Tony. She shows up at the very beginning. Why the hell would she fuck off? Well,
Right.
why wouldn't she stay around for the time travel shit? Oh, no, they just started doing this shit without her, and now she has to play catch-up at the end.
Oh, and and that whole
I did not mind.
Well, no, I mean, the less we see that Captain Marvel, the better. But
Well, there was two versions. The second, the version they didn't use, she was going to be way more involved. and didn't do good with test audiences or whatever. So they went with the version where she fucks off for the entire movie.
Why couldn't
Hey,
they
that's
just
fine by me.
Captain Marvel was too busy buying space groceries.
I mean, what was that one scene that like people love where Thanos just punches her out of the scene?
Mhm.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's the best part of the movie right there.
Yeah. That movie's got problems, but that's definitely one of my favorite scenes.
It's just like,
I'm still
Bam.
upset that I was the only one in the theater that squealed and started.
yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah.
He ripped the power stone off the gauntlet just to use it on her. He
Yeah.
doesn't have to do
Yep.
that, but he wants to.
Right.
He's just like,
He wants her to know.
yeah. He really wanted her to know her place in the universe. Like, and it's not as high as you think it is, lady. Trust me. It's kind of
He's
like, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
He's like, I want you to know that I dislike you so much that I'm going to risk my entire plan and take one of the stones out of this thing just to knock you out.
It's kind of like you remember was it when Kevin Feige made that whole declaration like she's the most powerful character in the Marvel universe. Like, wow,
Right,
not even your
right.
directors agree with you.
Yeah.
He got really fucking mad too when that poll came out that said that nobody likes her.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
did a poll of like, who's your favorite like Marvel character or something, and she finished dead last.
Yep.
Yep.
Remember, girls, you could be anything you want to be when you grow up, unless you're Carol Danvers. In which case, you could grow up to be a comatose patient in a bed to make another character look better.
Right.
Hashtag win rogue, right? Like, like I said, I said it's like if was it. In fact, it doesn't even look like right now with the current slate they're even going to do a sequel to Captain Marvel. She's just going to be
No, it'll be Phase 5.
yeah. Is this what it looks like they're going to do? Well, I think they talked about doing A-Force, and I'm like, why? All female Avengers, yeah. People want that.
I'm like, oh, the book that was canceled after 10 issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. Let's get back to this book.
Yeah, let's sell some good books.
We're here to sell books, yeah, and we're trying to build new universes, not like worry about ones that they're ruining now. I'm down here at the stretch goals.
Yeah, sure.
So we got stretch goal bonus 8,000 postcards and swag bag now feature art by Carl O'Rowe, and I saw his book, Death Sworn. That looks awesome.
Yeah, man.
And trading card and swag bag now features art by. Is this like new art or is this?
No, it's
Yeah,
gently
so-
recycled.
Right. No. So as it stands, like without hitting the $8,000 goal, the bookmarks are going to be taken from interior pages in the finished book, and the trading card will be a new piece commissioned by me to Kristen. But if we hit 8,000, then that all goes out the window, and Carl O'Rowe provides brand new art for the postcards, and Ethan provides us with a trading card.
Nice.
Guys, get to $8,000. Get this to $8,000.
See, I've got my credit card here, and I'm looking at the let's see, the perks.
Yeah, you looking at the perks?
I am. Physical and prequel novella.
Yeah, so real quick, the novella is, I know, like, I have to do a better job of describing the novella. Like, I describe it in the perk itself. So basically, since there are such heavy ties to, like, Penny Dreadfuls and, Lovecraftian horror books, I did a prequel with Samurai and Dinosaurs, but it's going to be just a mini comic. But with this, I thought I would write like a 20 to 24 page novella and intersplice it with spot illustrations and wrap it in like an old school, like dime store novel cover.
Nice.
Guys, you could
And,
y'all could do that for Degaruda.
Yeah, yeah.
It is their
Um,
it is their show where they you know they kind of go over books.
Read things.
Read things. They actually read
Right,
things and
right.
then talk about them. Yeah. Like,
Say, we do. Are you familiar with the word isekai?
mm-mm.
It's a Japanese word that just basically means going to another world. It's
Okay.
it's a genre now in Japan that's like highly exploited and oversaturated.
Very oversaturated.
Super oversaturated, but it's finding the little like good shit, like gems between all the lumps of shit. It's actually pretty good because there's a lot of shit. Holy shit! It's so terrible.
it's like an episode of Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
almost to the point in the isekai publication where they're starting to do the subversion thing.
Oh,
Where
okay.
they're starting
So
to
we're at that
subvert
point
all
with
the
it.
tropes that they've been building up all this time.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And it's basically you're sent to a fantasy world and you have a gimmick. That's pretty
Okay.
much like I'm in another world with my smartphone. I'm in another world and the magic here sucks.
Gotcha.
I'm in another world, and my wife is actually a goddess, and fuck, there's so many little stupid little
And on and on and on and on and on. Yeah.
And the titles are getting really, really long and really specific.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the title of our show is a reference to. Is Degaruda is like really Japanese, like supposed to be like Japanese shorthand for hey, is anyone there? Help! I've been reincarnated as a podcast.
Huh.
And it also means outdated, basically.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because now the whole thing is outdated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We wanted a title that says not only are we weebs, we're also bad people.
So essentially, this is like the new fad that's replaced the whole thing of like, hey, I'm a schoolboy in a Japanese high school, and I've discovered this secret society that does blank.
Right. You're still the Japanese kid in high school. It's just that now you're in a high fantasy world that has video game mechanics.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Like experience points is actually a quantifiable thing that the townspeople will tell you about that you have to gather so that you can level up your stats. That you can track.
Or you end up in a world where literally all the women are the loosest things ever, and they have like super magical powers to boot as well.
Isn't that most of them, though?
Yes, but in the Japanese ones that get translated, it doesn't happen so much. But yeah, it's an interesting fucking meta genre. But it is very outdated. Like Gilgamesh is technically isekai. Like the Tales of Gilgamesh.
Right.
We started tracking down. Once we like defined the genre, like Western literature actually has a long history of this, all the way back to John Carter and even further back.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And like Heinlein, Asimov. We started looking at all these famous authors. Like they kind of wrote some isekai stories. Even
Like Lazarus Long.
Even Lovecraft wrote one. I think one visit.
Yeah, he did. It was that bum that kept falling asleep, and every time he fell asleep, he was in another world, and then eventually he dies in the real world, but he gets sent to the other world where he's like a king or something.
Was that the Dream Cycle?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, damn it.
Just pointing out that somebody in the chat, let's see what it says. When we were talking about Captain Marvel, they said, bitch slap to the next movie. And then it said David Chappelle audience rating at 99%. Big difference. That's just had to point that out. That was pretty good.
She did get fucking slapped into the next movie. Jesus.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Ari Ferreira got gutted by the anime version. I've heard that. I've got the first couple volumes. I haven't gone through them yet. They'll have their time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, you know, back to the stretch goals.
Yeah. So basically, with the novella is going to cover everything that happens from the Madness Engine's awakening to the point where the Meryl Corp, which is our version of Weyland Yutani, to the point where AmeriCorp starts rolling out like the first wave of androids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like the lead up to the thinger to the.
Yeah, basically, like you can hard cut. You can just have a black title card that says 200 years later. Like, just think of that before you start page 1 of the main book.
Right. So so you got. I'm just going looking at the stretch goals. We went over the 8,000, and 10,000 gets full color.
Yeah, I got a couple things going on tonight, but I'm gonna try to post up the flats for page 1, just to give people a sense of what it could look like.
Like give a little nudge in the ribs, like hey, check it out.
Right.
This could be you. Donald DeLay provides main cover for. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's. There are 3 that like I'm really pushing for, like 8, 12, and 18. Obviously, like I'd like to be able to check off this whole list, but
yeah.
But yeah, like 8, 12, and 18 are the real big ones for me.
So yeah, like I said, that's why I'm want to go through them real quick. So 15,000 gets a square binding, so makes it for that good bookshelf reading.
Yeah, exactly.
Now 18 says 13, a superhero horror story. It's a free second book featuring art by Canales. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So basically with that, Canales and I started talking about this idea that I had for like a superhero horror story and like timing it around, like doing the campaign around Halloween. And I mean, I was locked into The Gods Fear Me, so you can't have 2 campaigns open at the same time, and he's doing stuff that like I can't talk about yet, so he can't have a campaign open.
Right.
So I was like, and I didn't want to wait until like this time next year, so I was just like, well, why don't we just make it a stretch goal, and if we get there, like I'll just pay you your flat rate, and we'll print it up black and white on newsprint, so it'll have that like EC horror comic feel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Unless you get to 20,000, then you'll get a higher paper quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's my contribution.
So what?
I went ahead and I backed the book. I got that physical copy with the prequel novella.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
It is not registered on the campaign yet. I mean, it's showing that the year's a new backer, but it hasn't registered on the thing on the. Because I want to see what year. I want to see what year we got to. Piper.
They told me I was backer number 54.
Awesome. Well, thank you very
54.
much.
So that means there's been 2 since this started.
Nice.
Because
that's awesome.
Yeah, because it was a 52 when we started the stream, and this does not want to update for some reason.
It told me an error has occurred.
Oh no!
All right, let's try it like this. All right, okay. You want to play with me? Fine. How about I just open a new tab? What do you think of that? It's still. Oh, there you go. And now it says 52 backers, but the money's gone up. I love that. That's great.
Well, that's weird.
The internet.
Yeah. It's you got to outsmart the internet. Oh, let's see. Go back down to stretch goals. Where we said 20,000 higher paper quality. Oh, our friend Simon Pothier doing the main cover for 13.
Yeah. I'd love to see that happen. Like I've gotten to know Simon pretty good over the past couple months. He's a great
Simon's
guy.
a good guy. Yeah, we had him on a few months ago.
Nice.
And it was right around. I think he was like a third of the. He was like 3/4 of the way funded for Blood Hunt. And once again, comes on the show, gets funded. I'm just saying,
There you
I remember
go.
that night. That was a good night. And that when Piper pulled up the chart for the second time.
I don't know if she pulled up the chart then
Yeah.
or not. Did you pull up the chart then?
Yeah.
We're not going to
Yeah,
pull
the
up
chart
the chart.
came out.
We're not pulling the chart up again, by the way.
Yeah, no, it was because Werewolves was already in his book.
That's
so-
right. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the stretch will be drawn in as a werewolf.
And you'd missed
Yeah,
it. And
I
and then he said
know.
something, and I remember he said, like, maybe if we get a certain funding level, if you want to toss, that particular thing, maybe I can put another werewolf in, kind of thing.
Yeah. I didn't get to jump on it. I am still sad.
Yeah, trying to convince him to open up another space for a, for a werewolf.
I wanted to be a werewolf in his book so bad.
Okay, so yeah, 25,000. Get full
But
colors.
I just found sad violin and we moved on. Damn it.
Yeah. 28,000. So you get another upgrade in. Oh no. I'm sorry. You get a higher paper quality for that.
For 13, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The 20,000 paper quality is for God's Fear Me.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah. Okay. And then at 30,000 square binding, 33,000. The God's Fear Me cover poster unlocked for all backers. So to get a cover, that's cool.
Yeah, so the poster is exclusive to the swag bag, and this would basically be like, all right, everybody gets it.
Right. And then at 35,000, 13 cover poster unlocked. So essentially, and of course, we would like to see this get to 100,000, so you can just keep adding stuff to it.
I won't say no.
No, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I mean, and unlike some folks, I'm sure you would actually, actually send your books out to everybody who actually ordered one.
I have no idea what you're talking
I have
about.
no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's like I am not in any way, shape, or form talking about somebody who might do books about earthworms. Excuse me.
Huh?
Nothing.
Okay.
I can say that. I'm the host of the show. Damn it. Okay. All right, yeah, so you mentioned swag bag. Honestly, this is what Xavier should have backed, was this one. Get more stuff.
You're not my real dad, Wayne. Don't tell me how to spend my money.
Look, you spent like, what, $100 on trying to get Nick Ricada on the show? I think you would... Don't lie. You're right. I'm right.
Yeah, but so with shipping, it wound up being about I think 35.
Yeah. I mean, it's like $10 shipping is about standard.
Yeah.
For right now. I mean, the only way you can get it any cheaper is like you start opening up your own publishing houses and stuff, or getting up with somebody who has a publishing house,
No, you're right. I probably should have gotten this, but live and learn.
It's all right. I'll allow it. Yeah, like we learned a hard lesson on shipping with Samurai and Dinosaurs. Like I'm totally gonna end up eating the cost of some of that once we're in fulfillment on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like my conceptual math was we'll just charge a flat fee of $7, and if the American backers only cost about $4 to ship, then that leaves $3 left over to help go towards like the international fees.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really, really bad math.
Yeah. I remember, like, for example, now this was just with letters, right? My mom had to use a pharmacy in Canada, right? And she had to send stuff through the mail. And a regular postage here, to send it just to send it here would have been like, 35-cent stamp or, whatever, 40-cent stamp, whatever they cost now. To send it international was $15.
Yep. Wait.
Yeah.
Jesus!
There we go.
So, and then what's funny is like did all that work and they sent it back saying that it was that it didn't meet the what do you call it? They wouldn't let it go through the border essentially.
Oh wow, okay.
And so what's funny about that? So I basically ate $15, you know. And so I contacted pharmacy. He's like, "Can I email it to you?" "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Where was that option earlier?" Because I don't know about you, but I really love spending money that I don't have to.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so yeah, the $40 swag bag. In addition to the copy of the book and the novella, you also get a trading card, 2 postcards, and a poster of the cover, and a sticker.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it funny how? Have you noticed, Mike, that all of a sudden, like when you start doing fun stuff around comic books, like trading cards and posters and stickers and things like that people want them?
Yeah, I mean, like that was the whole thing with Samurai and Dinosaurs. Like, the first version of the campaign, I was like, all right, we're just gonna go like in lean and mean. It's just gonna be the book and maybe like one other option.
Mm-hmm.
Like because we're new on the scene and like people are just gonna want to see like what we can offer. And like I reached out to everyone after the campaign failed and we were planning out the relaunch.
Mm-hmm.
And it really was that thing of so many backers were just like, we want to give you more money than you're allowing us to. And I'm like, okay, like let's start talking about posters and stuff, man.
Mm-hmm. Because I've seen a lot.
And yeah,
I've seen a lot of campaigns start adding like trading cards, for example.
Yeah.
Because people say, "Oh, trading cards are stupid. That's like the 1990s." It's like, well, you got to realize, play to your audience, right?
Yeah, exactly.
and posters, hell yeah.
Yeah, and me and Sim and a couple other creators, like we're trying to figure out a new approach to the trading cards so that like, what am I trying to say? Like the fear with wave 1 of like comic skate stuff was like specifically all the trading cards just kind of had their own look and design and just there was no consistency.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so like what Sim and I and a few others are trying to figure out is like, is there a way to either do something game based with them or at least kind of have a unified design so that if someone started actually collecting all this stuff, it would fit together into one cohesive set.
Well, you're making me you struck me immediately because I thought about the old like X-Men trading cards and Marvel trading cards, and I remember the borders that they would have on them.
Right.
Like there was the art, but all the art always had a border around them, so you knew that was your X-Men card.
Yep.
And you knew this was your Marvel card. The only ones that didn't have borders was like the Joe Jusko Masterpiece cards.
Right, the Marvel Masterpiece edition.
So
I would love to see like a game version of the trading cards where you like, this is your Mike Murphy set, this is your EVS set, this is the War Campaign starter box.
Right.
Yeah.
And
well, it's being talked about.
Right.
That would be actually really cool.
Because then you could, because if you got enough consistency, you got enough people on board, you could start doing random packs.
Now, one thing you get, but the thing is, the key thing for that is you do have to have a base card game.
Right.
So essentially, you would have to like come out with a card game, kind of project. Get that thing, and then that would give incentive for people to want to buy your books because then they get new cards and things like that. So. It's an idea that's really got a lot of potential to it, in all honesty.
You take a page out of Yu-Gi-Oh! You got your two starter sets. You got your starter set Yugi and starter set Kaiba. Mm-hmm. Both are pre-constructed decks that you can just pull out and just fucking go to town with. Mm-hmm. And it teaches you the rules of the game.
And then, of course, and then you buy cards to supplement your deck.
Yeah, that'd be like Cyber Frog versus. That's your starter set Cyber Frog versus starter set Midnight Cowboy.
Yes, exactly, because, we want to see Cyberfrog take on a AI submarine.
Well, yeah.
Oh God, can you imagine that conversation?
I play Salamandroid in defense mode.
No matter who he goes up against, Ethan's just like, nope, Cyberfrog wins.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, dude, there's gotta be.
Like, dude, this is a nuclear-powered submarine that can transform into a base airship. You know?
Right. I don't care.
Yeah, that would be his response. I don't really care. Hey, I'm gonna let him have it today because it's his birthday. Okay, he can have it today.
Yeah.
The effect of that card only works one day of the year.
Right.
There's only one day a year where all Cyberfrog cards win every game.
Yeah, every one day of the year, every Cyberfrog is basically Exodia. That's why.
If you play was it Chelsin, Cyberfrog, and Salamandroid on the board at the same time, it's instant win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any other, but it's only one day a year. Any other day of the year, they're just regular units.
Right, and that's why all the tournaments are specifically scheduled to not be on that day.
No official tournaments on EVS's birthday.
Yeah, just nobody plays.
Yeah. But yeah, you're. So I'm going to ask: have you figured out now to charge more for international shipping?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hated doing it, but
But you have to.
It had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it had to be 20 international.
Like unless, like I said,
because. No, go ahead.
I was saying until we figure it out, and I say we as collectively as the people involved all the way around figure out like how to do publishing houses in other countries where they can print out their books there and they can ship it out there
Right.
and save on money and stuff like that. Until that happens, it's got to be done this way, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that is being discussed as well because like as big of a pain in the ass as it is for people who want to buy our stuff internationally, it's a big pain for us too because like it hurts our numbers. There's no way around it because I've heard from a lot of international people who are like, I can't drop $35 on a 32-page book, and it's like I get you, like
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, it's just, I mean, I'm just thinking about like, Simon, he lives in Canada and that's international shipping right there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, and that's like literally across the border. And even then they might not ship it, because, you didn't describe it correctly.
Like surprisingly, like Canada is like one of the worst when it comes to shipping rates. Like,
Oh my god. Don't even start with Canada. Holy Christ.
I forgot. Bob is Canadian, so yeah. He knows all about that.
uh-huh.
Prices are
Like,
30
I've
to
gotten-
40% higher everywhere here. Fucking, ugh.
Yeah, man. Like I've gotten cheaper estimates on shipping stuff to the UK than Canada.
Put it this way. One day I lost my phone in my room around here. And I said, can't find my room. And Bob was like, what's your number? And I told him my number. He said, okay, I'm going to call it Do Not Answer It.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so I could hear the ring, And because
Yeah,
if I'd answered it, that would have been an international rate for him, and it would have killed his data plan.
I get you.
So, for me, it's like nothing. Like U.S. I'm gonna go call somebody internationally. Pfft, who cares, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're friends, but you're not. I'll pay a higher cellular bill for you, friends.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like, well, I wouldn't do it for him either. I was like, no, Mike, I love you, man. Or Bob, I love you, man. But no, I'm not gonna. Sorry, buddy, I'm not putting myself in debt for you.
These people aren't just friends; they're like
That's
your
just how it
family.
be sometimes.
Yeah.
So
And,
Michael Beacon is in the chat, actually, you guys.
oh, nice.
Hey, Michael Beacon.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show on Thursday, weather permitting.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Weather permitting.
because I've got a hurricane blowing up my ass on Thursday, so I mean, it's kind of funny because it's blowing up Cab's ass right now.
It doesn't make it better.
It's just taking turns.
I always get Cab sloppy seconds, apparently.
That's just how it is, dudes.
we need to shorten that up for you, because
Well, that's why I cut it off, depending on if the point was definitely made or not.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so so we went over the swag bag or the swag bag bundle, and then the digital copy, $10, which is I explained it like we had Micah Curtis on a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
like digital copy is literally like the best thing, easiest thing, because it's like, oh, here you go, my email, there it is.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I talked with Malin a lot about digital, and I
He's not a fan, right?
No, he hates digital. Like the first time we got into it, I'm like, well, then what would you charge for digital if you had to offer it? And he's like, cover price of the book. And I'm like, but it's a thing that doesn't exist, man. Like,
yeah, there's no physical holding of the book. Yeah, it's kind of.
So like, but like, he made a compelling argument, and I get where he's coming from, but I knew heading into this with the increase in international that I was going to have to offer digital, because that was going to be the only way for some of these people to get a copy at all.
Right. Which is fair.
Yeah.
Don't you find it funny that the guy who only draws mostly digital does not like digital comics?
Yeah, no, it's funny.
Like, was it 99% of everything he draws is digital, but he doesn't like digital comics?
Right.
Malin. Like I said, that's why I'm gonna start calling him Smug Malin, because that. That's literally like, yeah, I draw digitally and I hate digital comics. What do you want to fight about it? What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Right. No, John's great, man.
I like John.
He took us in, like, when we first started. He was one of the first people to like give us a break and give us airtime. Like, I'll never say nothing but good stuff about that dude.
Yeah. Of course, he's always like the guy I say, if you want to know what the moral compass is for like Comicsgate, go to John Malin.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he doesn't get into the minutia of shit. He tells it exactly like he sees it.
Right.
Yeah. I remember, like, not to get into too many details, but you might remember the conversation he had live with Mike Miller. Yeah. That's exactly the way I was feeling, and he told it exactly like I would have said it. So I was like,
right.
Yep. Malin took care of that. So single physical copy for $15. So that's just the book, right?
Yeah.
Just the book, $15. Like you said, prefer physical to digital, like me. Wink. And this is the one Xavier got, the physical and prequel novella.
Yes.
Wink. Oh, sorry. Everything's gonna be wink now. Wink. The international exclusive. The international backers looking for a deal on shipping get 2 physical copies of the God's Fear Me and 2 copies of the prequel. Same cover price, reduced shipping. Yes, I know U.S. shipping is possible. But couldn't figure out how to exclude America, so I listed it as regular shipping. I guess you could use it. You could, if you 2 copies of each in U.S. Oh, so basically, for the international backers, you're giving them kind of things like you get 2 copies of each thing.
Yeah, and instead of $20 for a single order, it's $30. So you're saving $10, and that's probably what it's going to end up costing me to ship. So we break even.
Oops.
That's been kind of like one of the debates is like it's basically what can you send the international backers, what can you pile into the package to make it worth their money,
right?
Especially with the shipping.
Yeah, it was like, honestly, and like the reason the thumbnail is different from all the rest of the thumbnails is because that was created after the campaign launched. I think it was day 2. An international backer was like, "Can you just pull your boy Zach and offer what he offers?" And I'm like, "All right," because
I noticed
this whole thing came about. Yeah, I know. I'm like,
what a bunch of assholes. They tell you, hey, won't you do this? You're like, all right. And then they're like, then they don't buy it. They're like, okay.
I know.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Goddamn reset error.
Reset error.
Like demand shit and they don't even want to spend money.
Right.
Sounds like reset error. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Fuck your couch.
But yeah, it was basically like what the idea that Richard got rolling of like, hey, why don't I just send you 2 copies, and if you have a friend that is interested, you can just split the shipping with them.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
There you go, Mike. Find a friend you can buy stuff with. Maybe your brother. You know, the good one, not the other one. Your good brother, not the one that you were annoyed with last week. And by Mike, I mean Bob. I don't.
Oh no,
What?
no, yeah, he meant Bob. Like, I don't even have a brother, man.
Yeah, Bob. I was saying like maybe you could, since he's got this international exclusive, maybe you could find a friend you could buy books with. And I said maybe your brother, but I said the good one, not the one that was visiting you last week. I don't know. Adrian's not really big on like comics though, is he? It's like
No. Oh well. No, I don't really think so.
yeah.
I don't remember any of them talking about comics.
I mean, the only time he talks about comics is like he's talking to like us about them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you got us Port the Troops tier, fulfilled via Operation Paperback. You'll get 2 copies of book 1, and the U.S. military will get 3 copies. So shipping is limited to the U.S. only, and it's included in the price. And 2 to you and 3 to the troops. Sounds
Yeah. Just carrying that over from Samurai and Dinosaurs, like, it did pretty good for us, so there was no reason not to just roll it over.
Yeah. Let's see. And then the 4 shop owners and collectors. And it was 10 physical copies. Ooh.
Yeah. Just 10 books.
Well, I mean, yeah, that good. And they could put, if the shop owner wants to put it on their book on the shelf, they can sell it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it'll have the ISDN on and everything.
Yeah, and it will. And
I like how I
what's
said
funny
that.
is-
You were like, of course. What are you, dummy?
What's funny is the night that we launched the campaign, and we had like the launch stream, like someone wrote in and was like, what's the collector's thing? And I'm like, it's 10 books if you're a collector. And like 2 minutes later, like he pinged it and he's like, I am a collector, sold. I'm like, all right, great, man, thanks.
There you go. Yeah. We'll get drawn into the book. Ooh. I don't think you can be a werewolf, Piper.
Oh.
I mean, maybe get talked into it.
Some sort of eldritch werewolf horror.
Right.
Can you put in an?
If you can build a compelling argument, I will make Kristen draw it.
Aw.
But you got to do it in a week.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. And you got to pay $250.
Whew.
At least a 500-word essay.
Oh my god.
Just keep adding. We keep adding requirements on
It's
it.
getting worse and worse all the time.
Piper is suddenly Billy D. Williams. Page 1 original art for $350, and you get a physical copy with that.
Yeah, and that's going to be shipped directly from Argentina. So that's
Oh yeah, that's right.
part
He
of
is
the
located in
price
Argentina, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll be sending them out from there, and I'll be sending your book out from the U.S. Obviously.
So basically, yeah. So all these, basically everything else is pages that you can get.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, or 3. I mean, the third page looks awesome to me. I mean, I like the other ones are good too, but that third page is like fighting the monster thing. That's really cool looking.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That one is really cool.
And plus, that's the one
Yeah,
with the
he
shocking,
killed
with
it
the with the hand, like what the. It's like, wait a second. Yeah, I mean that like it's a really good action shot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I like the way
Yeah,
you got
it's-
you got the the thing like talking in gibberish as I call it. It's
Right,
I know
right.
it's actual it's like their language and everything. It's just like
Yeah, and like I'm committing I'm committing to the bit like every ancient alien god that we come across will have their own unique specific word balloon shape and type of gibberish that they speak in.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, that was the thing like the thing we kind of talked about offline. That one particular panel that was zoomed in on. I'm not an idiot, right? Consider myself pretty smart. I could pretty much tell that at least with the with the words, with the word balloon and stuff, that was meant to be another voice. And
Right.
you're differentiating the voices by word balloon.
Yeah. So yeah, like that specific word balloon, like the AI voice that's the automated system waking Kedzie up. I wanted to match the font that we use in the trailer.
Right. And like I said, the whole idea is like it's it's more wooden, it's computer, it's
Right.
and monotone. I'm guessing monotone, that. And so it makes sense, of course it's not going to look like your normal word balloon.
Yeah, of course.
Like anybody who thinks that is an idiot.
A complete idiot. I don't know who would think that.
I have no idea who would think that. I bet somebody with a name like starts with a P. I'm just guessing. Damn Peter. Peter Parker doesn't know what word balloons are. Let's see. If I right now purchase the Be in the Book tier, can I just actively ruin this by sending you hundreds of pictures of WikiHow? And suddenly an ostrich.
Suddenly, ostrich appears.
Yes. Kedzie has to brain the ostrich.
Wild ostrich appears. Go, Charmander.
You can have Kedzie be like, well, I wasn't expecting this today, but I'll fight it. Well, that's an interesting. So, one of the things he's talking about the gods, talking about translating. Is there going to be a subtitle translation, or is it just going to you just got to guess?
That's going to be more of a book 2 or book 3 thing.
Oh yeah, kind of like that, and they're starting to figure out the language, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you kind of know what they're saying. So you're basically doing like they did in Halo, the video games.
Right.
Like the first Halo, they were all just speaking gibberish, and by the second one, you could pick up a few words here and there, and by the third one, they were speaking perfect English.
Exactly.
Work. Yeah. That was always my favorite. The elites the elites see you and they go work.
Yep. Now you're making me miss Halo.
Well, Halo was. Hey, yeah, remember when Halo was a good game? It was
Right?
Yeah, you remember those days?
Mm-hmm. Remember when the story wasn't all stupid and convoluted, and they tried to make you play as. The fuck was?
I was playing the end of taps for Halo.
God, that was loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when Halo was, was awesome, and then 4 and 5 happened.
Yep.
Remember when Halo Reach came out, and it's like, guys, I know this is a prequel, but this is where you should end it.
Exactly.
You can't get no better than this. Don't try.
Like this is a great finale.
Yeah.
Yoshiki Tano did the same thing when they brought him back for a new Gundam series for the first time in 10 years. He's like, Turn A Gundam. It's going to be like a new series. He's going to use it to end Gundam forever.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
Because then Double O came out, and Double O was not great.
Mm-hmm.
Seed came out, and Seed was not great. IBO came out, and people liked the first half.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not great.
Yeah.
But it was not great.
I mean, aren't they in a situation basically with Gundam now? They're basically like just retelling the old stories again.
Kind of.
Kind of like with
Yeah.
like with the origin. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
The-
Like, hey, you want to know about?
hips?
Hey, you want to know about Char Aznavour's like when he was a kid and shit? Well, here you go.
It's what I say, the shows have good things about them. It's like when they're good, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of garbage you got to sift through.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's like, Gundam 00. Didn't we already see this when it was called Gundam Wing?
Gundam Wing was rad.
Five pretty boys with problems who come down with their, custom super war machines to tell everybody that war is bad by killing everybody.
We don't like war. We're gonna kill everybody on both sides. Like, oh, okay. Well, when you got a super machine that can kill, was it like I mean, what do we figure? What's the rate on a Gundam versus like a regular like unit? It's like what? It's about 50-1.
About that.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah.
It depends.
If there's infantry, it goes up to like fucking millions.
If you also have to know what you're fighting when you're going in. Because you could sneak up on a Gundam and you could just fucking melee the shit out of it and win.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to know you're fighting a Gundam. You can't just be like, oh, an enemy mobile suit. This'll be easy. I've killed like 10 of those today.
And then you wonder why your mobile suit's decapitated afterwards. Like, I have no idea what happened. I did everything I did before. Lord.
You took out the guy in the Gundam. But the pilot's okay. What about the Zaku pilot? Nothing left but hamburger.
8th MS team is the shit. That was a good. I enjoyed the 8th MS team.
In Vietnam with giant robots.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
I always love the part where like the guy shows up. He's the hotshot pilot, and it wasn't the whole thing. He wasn't used to land based Gundams, and so he was wearing his like pilot suit and all that shit, and he just like
he's wearing a space suit.
Mm-hmm.
He also made a lot of fucking bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even later on, when he's more experienced, he's like, "Now time for my counterattack." So he closes his eyes and starts screaming and just starts shooting. Which,
well, that works in every other Gundam series, so why not here, right? Like.
Amuro never closed his eyes. Hell, fucking Amuro would pull out the fucking sniper scope and fucking line that shit up.
Well, we don't know what he was.
Yeah. It worked in The Last Starfighter.
See?
Yeah, just shoot in every direction, and eventually they'll fly into the beams. Which, get this, they just announced a sequel to The Last Starfighter for some reason.
Yeah, I heard that.
I-
Because someone got a hold of the copyright. That's why.
Yeah, sounds about right.
The fact that they're doing a sequel, though, means is like, we want to bring in the people that like this original movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
we're probably not going to alienate our fan base. So there's hope there.
I mean, yeah, if you're doing a direct, it's kind of like what's the whole like the new Ghostbusters, not the one that that abortion that came out in 2016, but this new one where they're, the people behind it is like, we want to get those people who actually like Ghostbusters into the theater,
Mm-hmm.
and not try to alienate those people,
Well,
Any
those
more
people-
than we already have.
Yeah. I mean, we did kind of like
Alienated or
punch
not,
them
those-
right in the face with this, with that last thing that was.
Alienated or not, those people still would have showed up to see the train wreck and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Had they not just outright attacked them constantly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Some still did go and just to watch it,
Yeah.
to laugh at it.
I think, and I kind of have a problem with that. I mean, I don't know about y'all's feelings on this, but I have a problem, and it comes with comics and everything like that. I mean, and like I said, I appreciate folks like Yellow Flash and Zach and people like that who still do reviews for comics and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Sure.
and and they did the whole they tear it up and stuff, and that's fine and all, but okay, you just spent $5 on a comic that was bad.
When you buy something and you know ahead of time
Yeah,
that you hate it.
it's gonna be garbage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to like do. I mean, granted, I laughed my ass off when Yellow Flash took a took a book to the pressure washer and pressure washed it. So, that was funny as hell. But
Nice.
but the fact is, it's like that's still like spending money that you could like go buy good stuff. That's the way I look at it.
Right? That money
See-
could be supporting a good creator instead of being given to a bad creator to make fun of them.
Yeah.
See, y'all Americans had it the first time y'all did that when y'all dressed up as fucking Indians and threw tea in the harbor.
So you could have joined us, but
Hmm.
y'all had to resist.
Can't be helped.
I mean, we
Shogun eye, my nigga.
what have Mike?
Shogun eye.
Bob, what have I told you about that language on the show?
It was Japanese for
Japanese, okay.
Shogun Nakama.
Let's see. Let's see what the chat's saying. Just conversations going on. Everybody's just press F for Halo. Yeah.
Remember Killzone? When Killzone was amazing for like 2 games and then never again?
Mm-hmm.
well, weren't they? Wasn't it like Space Hitler first, and like Space Hitler's like great uncle, and then like Space Stalin after that?
No, what happened was Space Hitler in basically invading Poland, but Poland was badass and fucking fought him off.
Mm-hmm.
And then Space Poland fucking invaded Space Germany. And we're kind of getting their shit pushed in because it's Space Germany and they're dug in like a motherfucking tick. And they're shooting their ships out of the fucking sky with plasma cannons.
Okay.
And
No, here's a deep cut for you. Resistance 1 and 2 were terrible, but Resistance 3 was amazing, and it came out far too late because they had already decided at that point that that was the end of the franchise.
Yeah. It's funny because you mentioned he mentioned Killzone. Of course, we were talking about Halo. Like Killzone was supposed to be the answer for Halo.
it was the
Right.
anti-Halo. And
Yeah.
it kind of was.
And then
The first two were fucking
Resistance, and then Resistance when it came out on PS3 was supposed to be the answer to Halo. It's funny. All Sony's ever done is try to chase the answer to Halo, and they still have failed to find that answer.
Yeah, and then with the third one, they just kind of completely threw that out the window, and they were like, "What if we tell this horribly tragic story about the last days of humanity, after we've lost the war?"
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. It
So
was
basically,
a
they did
complete
Gears 3
180.
before it's Gears 3, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Killzone 2 and 1 and 2 were fucking fantastic fucking war games.
Mhm.
Then you get into 3, and it's like, oh, they're gonna fucking violate this treaty and do this bioweapon. All the people that were left on the planet because the fucking Space Polish fucked off and left a bunch of their guys.
I like how
they're
they're space Polish now. That's
Yeah,
Space
they're expected to turn themselves in to the Space Germans to and have them abide by intergalactic law and turn over all prisoners of war through negotiation. And it's like, no, they're gonna fucking execute these guys and use them in their fucking bio experiments.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the story is really fucked up in 3 to where basically you've got a large battalion of guys and equipment left on the planet struggling for survival, and by the end of the game everyone is dead except for you and 12 or 20 guys, enough to fit in a small ship.
So they went with the Modern Warfare ending.
Yeah.
The first one, where the nuke goes off and you're trying to get away from the nuke, but how do you outrun a nuke?
Yeah, they were gonna beam this fucking weapon that basically eradicates all organic matter or whatever,
Yeah.
and they were gonna beam it at Earth.
Sounds great.
They were going to bypass Space Poland and just go straight for the Space US. And they shot it down, and it landed on Space Germany. And basically, Space Germany is now fucking, except for a couple of places, unlivable. So Space Poland had to split their planet in half and share it with the Space Germans for a reason that makes absolutely no sense. And now you know why nobody wants another Killzone. Why they're not making another Killzone. Why people don't talk about Killzone anymore.
Well, they had that one at launch for the PS4 that was just like completely...
Yeah, that was the one where they split they split Poland in half to give to
Right.
the Germans because they felt bad that they helped destroy their planet.
Hey guys, sorry that we dropped this colony on your planet.
To be fair, you launched it. We just sent it back, but no hard feelings, right?
That was like I was watching. It's funny because I was watching Gundam Origin this weekend, and they went over the colony drop part of that story.
Yeah, Operation British.
Yeah, and it's just like the best part to me is like they got this fucking colony like flying towards Earth, and like the fleet that was like sent to stop what they thought was supposed to be a task force was no, it's not a task force, it's a colony, and they're trying to shoot it.
They did everything they could to try and stop it. But also, if I remember right, originally there actually was an escort fleet going with it. Just in case the Federation actually managed to pull a fucking rabbit out of their ass.
I mean, it's kind of like a like a situation would be with an asteroid. You have to blow it up from the inside. You can't, unless you're really lucky and the impact does like somehow just obliterate it. But 9 times out of 10, you need to like blow it up. You got to do the Armageddon thing. You got to go drill a hole in it and blow it the fuck up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I've seen Armageddon.
Yeah, I've seen Armageddon. Yeah.
You get your soundtrack done.
Or you could do a deep impact and try to veer it into the ocean.
I understand science.
To be fair, with Deep Impact, they weren't trying to divert it in the ocean. That was an accident.
True. Yeah.
Remember, they were trying to split it in half. Or, no, they were trying to blow it up completely so that what little was left would burn up.
Mm-hmm.
But it was hollow on the inside, and there was caves, and it blew it into 2 chunks.
Yeah. This is why we need Operation. We need like Operation Superman. We need to create a Superman, and so that will be our asteroid deterrent from now on.
Now, what we need is the Iron Giant, because after he smashes into the asteroid, declares himself Superman.
No, it was a nuke.
Back the other.
Yeah, it was a nuke. It wasn't a. Yeah.
Okay, so he's a deterrent for both of those things. I don't understand why we're fucking arguing over this. Just build
but the
Iron
problem
Giant.
is he blows up and then it takes him a long time to put back together. So it's like it's not the most effective deterrent over if you're getting multiple missiles shot at you.
And we all get sad.
Yeah. Now remember, even Dr. Manhattan, in the Watchmen book, they said he could only eliminate 30% of the nuclear arsenal coming towards the United States if it were to happen.
That was if they launched everything.
Yeah, but still, that's only 30%, and you're still losing half your country.
Right.
Yeah, so,
Last Babylon.
yeah, people hit that like button. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, hit the like button and buy Mike's book.
Yeah.
I don't have a book.
Not you.
Oh yeah!
Do they buy the Mike Murphy book? The Gods Fear Me, book 1.
The Gods Fear Me, the book, the story of Mike Murphy.
Hey, I think even that would be a very compelling story compared to some of the stuff Marvel's come out with lately.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Marvel. And I think I saw some, because I get these alerts now, because I guess I've searched a lot of shit on my phone for like different comics and stuff. Now I'm just getting like, if you know how you look at shit on your phone now, and like you go to Google and it just like gives you recommended stuff now.
Right.
Like for example, Bleeding Cool on keeping Alfred Pennyworth dead at DC Comics. I'm like,
Alfred died?
apparently.
Oh yeah, he's super dead.
And it's like,
Spoilers.
let me guess who wrote that.
Oh, you know it. You know it.
Piper's favorite author.
You know, man, like I was one of those guys, like I tried sticking up for King so long because I genuinely do enjoy the Vision and Omega Men and the first half of Sheriff of Babylon or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And like I feel like those books were both proof that he had something to say, but also proof that that was all that he had to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like, but I tried his Batman run, and by the time I got to the War of Jokes and Riddles, like my eyes were just sliding off the page. I'm like, I don't know what I'm reading. This is just nonsense.
Batman War Chronicles.
And yeah, like you get into whatever that Crisis book that he did with Wally West and how things are wrapping up and all the nonsense in Mr. Miracle with Darkseid sitting there eating guacamole dip. I'm like, dude, like, just stop.
Well, we did a whole like kind of thing on him a few months ago. Was it like what? Yeah, about a month and a half ago, wasn't it? It was after the whole. I forgot which controversy it was. Of course, it wasn't a wedding thing because I thought that
It
was
was
kind
the
of.
one where he got boot. He got the boot.
Oh yeah, it was when he got the boot. Well,
Okay.
they announced that he's getting the boot. I mean, he's still,
But not really.
yeah.
And everybody was getting all butt mad about it.
Right.
And Piper had a long thing about how somebody like Tom King needs to quit putting his own idiosyncrasies into other people's characters.
Yes, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
not even
limit to you write what you know. Like, Jesus.
right. Yeah, it's not even idiosyncrasies. It's just his entire baseline personality.
Yeah. He's like, because what
Like
was
there,
it? I forgot the
there's
line
that
he
interview.
said. Yeah, the line with him and Frank Miller. Yeah.
Exactly. And he's just like, there's nothing new that you can say with him. All you can do is write yourself.
Mhm. And Frank Miller
and,
was like,
Frank Miller.
it's like, no, why? You're not Batman. He's Batman.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, you could tell Frank Miller was just bitch slapping him with his eyes.
Yeah. And he basically said it afterwards, like being as nice as like he could possibly be. He's like, why would you want to be
Right.
somebody else if you're Batman? It's like, okay, B, let's look at 1A. 1A, you're Batman, right?
Right.
You get to hang out with, you get to hang out with air quote gods on the regular,
Right.
and they look at you as an equal.
Right.
And then 1B, you're a billionaire. On top of that. So, why would you? Why? Okay, who do I want to be? Bruce Wayne or Tom King?
I'm Batman.
I kind of look at it like this way. I'd like to hang out with Batman. I don't want to be Batman because if I was Batman, I kind of suck at a lot of things. I would be the worst fucking Batman ever. It's like,
I'm Batman.
yeah, so like that. It's like I'm not becoming Bruce Wayne, who is Batman. I am just me putting on a bat suit.
Yeah.
Nothing else has changed. Like that. That's a fucking terrible idea. Why would you let me do that? Like, yeah, I try on the fucking bat suit for shits and giggles. Maybe fucking grapple around the cave if I could, but. Well, Batman is there and can keep me from getting into any real fucking trouble because, as I've stated before, if I'm Batman's sidekick, I feel very confident I'm going to wind up Jason Todd.
Especially if I'm Batman.
It's like, and now I'm looking at that article, scanning through it. You could tell he's just doing, like, City of Bane was just so he could do a lot of shock value bullshit.
Exactly.
Killing Alfred.
I don't know. Like the first three, because I mainly read stuff in trades, and it's like the first 3 volumes of his run, they're not good, especially compared to like those other books that I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But but they're readable, and I feel like those first 3 trades were his run, and then it was at that point that he just got this wild hair up his ass of like, I'm gonna do 100 issues, and it's like, no, you're not, man. Like, this is your story. It's done. Like,
Yeah.
there's some interesting stuff in it, like the idea of Batman like trying to train someone to inherit like not just his role but inherit being a caretaker of Gotham. Like there's some interesting stuff in there, but then that's when the whole like I'm just gonna write him as me starts coming out, and it just becomes this terrible train wreck.
Well, I remember, you
Yeah.
mentioned Jay Ashiro earlier. I remember when him and Kat did the Adventures in Awful on that.
That was great.
Yeah, on Catwoman's bachelorette party.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
And the whole time it's just like
great.
you find out that Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne are the most boring people on Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
While
Yeah, just
Catwoman is
imagine-
getting shit faced with like fucking intergalactic ales and shit like that. So.
Yeah,
Also
just
find out
imagine.
that Lois Lane is fucking retarded though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Imagine being a reader of that book and spending $4 on that. Like, imagine spending $4 to be told that Batman and Superman are lamos. Like,
Well,
I don't know why that's so funny, but it is.
like
Man.
I just spent $4 to watch these two guys be putzes for like 2 hours. Like,
Eating
what is
soup.
yeah,
Eating
yeah,
soup and playing chess.
Yes, and playing
Bruce
chess.
Wayne, I could at least go, because he's, very Batman first. You tell him to go have fun, and he doesn't know what to do because
Well,
it's fun.
The way I look at it like this, right? I look at it like this. Bruce would at least know how to fake it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And
I am
I
having
can
a
see him
wonderful
like
time.
going off and like hanging out in like going to like Richie like clubs and things like that, where only like, high tier celebrities hang out and stuff just to fake it.
Well, he already
Um,
technically does do that by
yeah.
doing the charity events and crap.
Yeah, and but
Clark Kent does that because he reports on it sometimes.
yeah, and so
Yeah.
Clark would have been there. Clark would be Clark would be the wet blanket. No, I agree with that. Clark would be the wet blanket in the whole situation, right?
But see, we're already writing a better issue than that issue.
Yeah.
Because then you could have this like really powerful moment at the end where Clark is just like, dude, like I'm looking at your eye dilation and like I can hear your pulse. Like you're faking your way through this whole night. Like this isn't you. Like that would be such an amazing moment. But instead, it's just them eating soup and playing chess.
Actually, technically, it would be really good. Like both of them call each other out for faking having
Yeah.
There you go.
I would love to see a
world's
moment
greatest
where,
detective. I'm sure he can tell that Clark is actually really uncomfortable. Like,
Right.
I'd love to see this moment where Clark is wearing his fucking suit, or he's just getting home. He's like, and he's undoing his tie and bragging about how he's been around the block too. He knows how to party and throw down. And it's just a picture of Bruce Wayne's face looking very stoic. And the next panel is them doing something extremely mundane and not fun.
Right.
It's like, I know how to party. See, isn't this great?
Like he takes Batman mini golfing or something.
Yeah.
yes,
Oh God, I would laugh my ass off. See, that would be
yes,
funny.
wholesome family crap.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Like I don't, them hanging out at the mansion was stupid, but I could see Clark trying to take him out and have quote fun. Taking Batman bowling would be hilarious.
Take him to a movie, and the movie is like a civilian movie made based on Justice League adventures that they've only heard about.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And even have and it'd be like a scene like have Batman say something like that, and like Bruce is like, I never said anything like that.
That looks nothing like me.
See, that's a book I would pay $4 for.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like I said, you know how many books we've rewritten on this show accidentally,
Right.
It's
All of them. All of them.
pretty much. Oh man. So, well, I think we will probably wrap it up for tonight. Once again, I'm dropped the link in the chat again. I dropped it earlier for your Indiegogo project, The Gods Fear Me. Like I said, when I first heard the pitch for it, I was like, this is gonna be awesome. Just because you got two of my favorite things, bad guy elder gods and fucking badass cyborgs. It's like, yeah, this is like a really cool ass like RoboCop.
The art combined with the concept actually kind of reminds me of like early '90s OVAs when they didn't give a fuck and would animate literally anything. So you get all those like really cool sci-fi ultra violence shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a little bit of that in there. I mean, that goes back to the whole cyberpunk aesthetic, which like anime capitalized on that whole cyberpunk thing in a really cool way that they don't anymore.
Right.
We invented cyberpunk with books like fucking
Neuromancer.
Chase and Neuromancer and of course Blade Runner. I think anime perfected it though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just noticed that Raptro kept posting stuff in the
Also, I think Amazon is still serious about their plan to make a series or a movie out of Snow Chase.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
But they're not going to do Neuromancer.
No.
Ja, Cthulhu Fatagan Thingly Magana Fakatulu Riley Wagana Fatagan. Sorry.
Yeah.
Something caught in my throat.
Okay. All right. I just had that EVS moment. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds.
Have you heard the Lion King version of that?
No, my God.
Where it's Timon and Pumbaa singing Hakuna Matata, but it's Cthulhu Fatagan.
Oh, jeez. We ain't got time for that. Apparently, you're supposed to do the shill Evil Bob.
Oh, fuck. Am I? Let's see.
I don't know if you're prepared to shill him. You think you can do it?
Check out Greater Bonafide because I like meta shilling. Check out Truth on Nation on SoundCloud.com. Set your mind free. Check out SuperNerdland.com. You'll never see anything like it. Check out UGTan.com, the most lit webcomic on the internet. Check out PTSD Penguins on video.supernerdland.com because war is hell, but it's towards the squeaky. Then check out Jay Garuda Isekai Podcast with Mikey and Xavier. And Piper, check your chart for crying out loud.
And check out the Gods Fear Me Book 1 on Indiegogo right now. It's got 24 days left. Going ahead of schedule, but hey, why not get it funded this week? Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get this thing funded this week so he can start worrying about them stretch goals.
There you go.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much. Mike, thanks so much for coming on tonight. We appreciate you coming.
Hey, it was fun, man.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
And like I said, yeah, guys, check it out. The link is, like I said, I put it in the chat, but it's also people who are watching later. It is in the description below. So be sure to go check it out. And like I said, we will see you probably tomorrow night. Thursday night, we're supposed to have Michael Beacon on, weather permitting. I got to put that in quotes, weather permitting, because I don't know what Dorian is going to do when it tries to blow up this way. So anyway, guys, we will see you then. Until then, you have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Later.